Hey, you already know it's your boy 1111. You already know. And right now, we just want to get into the topic of dealing with pressure because pressure is not going to be anything new to you. Pressure is nothing new to me. You know what I'm saying? You can look at pressure as far as the pressure that we deal with, as far as the thought form type of pressure. Whether you're at work and your boss is pressuring you to do certain things, or whether you're dealing with your parents and your parents are pressuring you to do certain things and think certain ways and feel about certain ways. But that pressure, we're gonna have to deal with that pressure because we're either gonna overcome that pressure and create our own state of being, create our own equilibrium within or outside of that pressure, from observing that pressure via it being some type of input in our body and stuff like that, as far as entering through our ears, or just the metaphysical pressure that's around us that we can pick up with our senses just through what other people want to pressure us to do. This is spiritual pressure in the air. When you talk, you're putting out a form of pressure because you're contracting, expanding your lungs in particular ways to put that out. When your blood is circulating, blood, it has to perform or do a certain amount of pressure, aka what's referred to as the heartbeat. So pressure is a universal principle. Pressure is important because it allows us to create our own state of being within reality. But when you don't know how to deal with pressure and actually equalize and balance pressure, you're going to find yourself living someone else's state of mind, living out someone else's reality, living out someone else's conscious projection of you and what they want you to do, because they're projecting out way more pressure than you can handle. Like I said, this could be at work, this could be when you're dealing with your family, this could be just, when you're doing your own discipline, this could be just, this could be anywhere, any place, anytime. Pressure is just defined in so many different ways. But we're just talking about as far as the pressure that we receive from other people, when we're at certain places. If you're spiritual enough to like pick it up with your psyche, with your senses, there's gonna be something of pressure there. So you don't want to allow the pressure to make your character move or do or act or behave in particular ways. You want to be able to balance it out and create an equilibrium so you don't go out into extremes, right? So for example, right, you could cuss your boss out at work, for example, because you don't want to do a certain shift, right? Or you can just not succumb to that pressure that he's projecting. Create your own state of being, create a balance, so you have literally a mental shield. Because if you're not reacting and responding to people in extremes, they get to know that you're not really affected by their thought or by their feeling that they're projecting. And either way, it's not necessarily about overcoming other people. Sometimes it's just about cooperating and creating certain collaborations and stuff like that, because life is all about collaboration. You know what I'm saying? Like, down to even you just being able to be born in your mother's womb, that was a form of collaboration between you, your mother, your father, and the spirit, the animating principle that animates all things, and your own spirit and stuff like that. So there's a lot of because it's teamwork makes the dream work all the time, right? But we always want to make sure that we're not allowing someone else's teamwork to overcome us, or someone else's mental work to overcome us, in a way where we're being set back from doing the things that we actually aspire and want to do. You could just be dealing with the pressure from your religion, from your religious group and stuff like that. Oh, no, don't think like this, don't do this. Some religious groups, they tell you to go sign up with certain banks. Some religious groups, they tell you, oh, you can only consume certain products, stuff like that. And that would be like a cult or some shit like that. But we're always dealing with the pressure. Think about the pressure that's coming from these politicians that run the world and stuff like that are trying to run the world, that are being used as puppets. Think about the pressure that is coming from these think tanks to engineer and modify the world through social engineering in a particular way. So we're constantly dealing with this pressure in so many different angles, but it's our own ability to exude our own pressure via us bringing the thought and the feeling together, so we can create an equilibrium, so we're in our own state of being and not get affected by the shit, right? So for example, you can be trying to practice gratitude, but you could be experiencing certain pressures that are opposite of gratitude. You might be actually getting things that you're not really grateful for at the moment, right? But don't let these things that you're ungrateful for, things that you're not looking for at the moment, throw you off of that state of being. Because the more time you spend in that state of being, the more that state of being accumulates, and the more that energy that you hold in becomes part of your aura, becomes part of your vibrational field and stuff like that. So the more time we spend into something, the more that we reap that energy and shit like that. So a situation can be happening physically, but it don't necessarily mean that we gotta allow ourselves to be in this holistic state of mind because of that situation, person, place, or thing and stuff like that. It's all about just learning this balance between pushing and pulling, because you can't try to take something that other people don't got Otherwise, you might just be like some type of narcissist or some shit like that. Someone don't got it and you're still trying to take it, then you're just pulling too much. And the other person that's allowing you to do that, really, they gotta start pushing a little bit, you know? It's all used to balance between this dynamic of push and pull. But sometimes you can get stuck between one of those two value systems or one of those two measurements that are opposing each other on the axes and shit like that. So for example, you could be like the narcissist or you could be like the victim or whatever. Now we don't really care about either or. We just want to play the shit that's in the middle. We don't want to be the person that takes too much. We want to be the person that gives too much. Otherwise, you're not creating an equilibrium. You're not balanced, and that whatever you're doing is backed up and supported by a state of being that's really just not is just deficient in some type of way. You know what I'm saying? Or like if you're the narcissist, for example, you might have been getting your way for so long or some shit like that, but that's really deficient because you're trying to use other people, manipulate other people for your sense of ego, for your sense of desire, because there's something inside of you that you don't really think you could do for yourself. So you're really a sorcerer. You're really a sorcerer because you're studying other people and you're trying to use them for some type of desire, some type of way of being seen, some type of pleasure that you got, type shit like that. Now, it's okay if it's done within its limits. Now the person that's given out a lot, they may have been raised in a circumstance where they were always been given, or they may have felt powerless, or not had much power in the first place in whatever circumstance they was raised in. So they might grow up in a way where they believe they have to give up everything because they already dealt with that situation. So now their mental frame is give. The narcissist mental frame is take. So the point of all that is it's the ability to withstand pressure regardless of whatever side of the spectrum you're on. You know what I'm saying? So if you just master this dynamic of understanding when people are pushing for something, you can pull back from it. If people are trying to pull something from you, you can push against it. And that within itself is the universal principle that allows you to create an equilibrium state of balance between anything that's between you and what you're trying to get. Because when you're trying to go towards that path, when you're trying to walk towards that purpose, when you're trying to resonate with a state of mind, whatever it is you're trying to do, you're going to have certain things that are trying to pull, but you're going to learn to create a state of being where you push a little bit. Like, it's really deep, but it's something that we all do with our own minds all the time. Like, certain bad situations that happen to you physically, you can pull, be like, oh, this is bad, I'm so sad. Or you can push, be like, yeah, you know what? This is a tough situation, but I got this because I'm the fucking man. So it's like, you're not allowing the elementals, you're not allowing that cloud of thoughts and feelings to cloud your judgments, to throw you off, so you can make more bad decisions, so you can throw off that trajectory of what you're trying to physically get to, as far as it being a state of being in the first place. But you see what I'm saying? Like, it's deep. But yeah, I already kind of said too much, but yeah. All right, peace out, y'all. Real shit.